So thanks, DLN, for your insights. Now, there are 8 founders here, co-founders. Obviously, I don't want to think how difficult it will be to get your picture up on this wall. It must be a process. Maybe they failed forward. Maybe this is not the first time trying businesses. Just give us an insight into some of these businesses and how they really got it through the process to make it onto the wall as co-founder. Their story, was it a straightforward process, or was it kind of convoluted, failing forward, learning, unlearning, and relearning? Let's hear how it went.
The founders on the wall, this is more or less like a wall of fame for them. It wasn't an easy, it's not like they came up with an idea, then the next thing it became a product, and then it became a company. They had to go through that process. And like I said, from the R&D point, because we needed to bring clarity to what exactly they are building, vis-a-vis with what the customer wants. So that once that match sort of occurs, then it's easier for us to now build upon what has been that cost solution that we are offering. How can we take advantage of the market? How can we, hold on to that market and dominate that market? Most importantly, remain sustainable in that market. Because it is upon that innovation that we can drive the longevity of that value that we are offering, and will not just be hit by an unexpected situation. And even if that unexpected situation comes, because we know that we have data to work with and we have the customers to continue to give us feedback, and we've been able to have not just built an MVP at that point, but built an MLP, which is most lovable product. I always tell my founders, say, can we make the customers love our product? MLP, most lovable product. Let's move from MVP to. So for example, let's take Pocket Layers, for example, we built version 1.
Pocket Layer.
Yes, at the version 1, we're testing with the market. We didn't come out. That's prototyping now. You get version 2, we're still testing, and then we found out that what the customer truly wanted was not affordable legal services, even though that was one of it. But what they truly wanted was fast, response time.
So you were following the data all through.
We were following that data.
So you were able to identify when something changed.
You get it.
What they want.
You understand? Imagine speaking to 50 customers, or testers. Let me call it a tester at that point, and they say 48 out of them are like, you know what? If you give me legal agreements in 24 hours, I'll be so happy. I'll pay any amount for it. Which means that there is an existing problem in the market. Not that people are not doing legal agreement out there, but the existing problem is that they can't get their legal agreement even in 1 week. And that is a fact out there. Because we found out that when I pay for legal agreement, it takes me about 1 week, some 2 weeks before I get that. But give it to me in 24 hours. We picked on that, and that became the selling point for Pocket Lawyer. So version 3, by the time we came out, we were just signing up, and they could see that truthfully we're offering that service, focusing on turnaround time.
So some of the guys who would have made it on here, that are not here today, why do you think they couldn't make it on here?
Basically, the founders, could not sustain the character to drive that business beyond just that idea. Generally, they get stuck to the idea of their product. They become too emotionally attached to the product that they lose a sense of the vision and clarity to that product. For us, we are more concerned about clarity. Let's be clear about...
Still objective.
Exactly.
Sometimes becomes subjective.
Exactly. You get it. So what is the value that we're trying to create, and how do we want to capture it, and how do we want to deliver that value? For me, those 3 are very important. The creation of that value, capturing that value in itself, and delivering that value is very important. But you just want to create a value. You don't want to have a sense of capturing. And it is in the place of capturing that value that you will be able to now listen to the customer. Because when you're unable to capture it with the customer in mind, when you deliver it, there's nobody to take on that value. You get. So some of them, we had to tell them, no. There's a founder, we invested over $15,000 in their R&D. And she came and then was like, we can't continue, we can't, and it's very simple. It's a delivery business, and we saw that there is need for the delivery business to focus more on night delivery instead of day. And you know why? Because a lot of people play in that market in the morning, but people still eat at night, right? She was fine with that. But then she now wanted to add a lot more features, that you have not confirmed with the customer if they want it. And we said no.
So she wasn't following the data, she was just going by.
Exactly, you understand? So it was like, no.
Which is dangerous.
Which is very dangerous, you get. And that we saw that it was not going to help. You break your business model into components, and then look at the moving needle from each of the components to be able to see which one, can move very quickly, or that you can move with very quickly based on, because at the end of the day, when you talk about business idea and all of that, it's more about you have a scalable number of people that are interested in that. If you cannot build on that interest, then there is a problem.